to me, the connection between dancing, art, spirituality is like we're on this earthly plane all for a short time together. And the body is one thing we all have in common. It might be different backgrounds, different race, different things, but we are all living in a human body. And our spirituality, for me at least, it's connected very much to my experience of the body. So my senses, drawing things in through my eyes and magnifying their beauty in paintings, or simply noticing, like being at the park and noticing the way a fern is curling. Like, to me, that's the eyes of the artist, and the ears of a DJ is trying to connect how music can move people as well. And then with my yoga practice and my breathwork practice, all of that is about like inhabiting my body with as much clarity, as deep a connection to spirit as I possibly can in this short time that we're here.
Hello. It's Maggie. She had just finished making the costume.
Yeah. That shit was so good.
Hey, I'm Maggie, also known as Miss Paradise, and this is my studio space. I've finally got a space out of my house for the first time, and I'm very blessed to be here. My artwork comes from kind of having been exposed to paint when I was a toddler. My mom introducing me to paint and having art supplies around. She was a stay-at-home mom for many years, but then got into teaching art, elementary school art later. But so visual art is sort of the foundation. And I was always a music lover, and it really became an interest to me to combine sounds later, where I started seeing DJs and I was like, wait a second, I think I can do this. I feel like resourcing each other within community can include like, oh, I know a photographer, I know a videographer, I know a DJ, I know an artist, but it can also be like, my friend needing a ride instead of calling the ambulance because she had a complication with a tonsil surgery. It's like, it can be little things where I can't sit with someone for a week while they're going through their tonsil recovery, but I can certainly pop up and give them a ride to the ER. So it's like finding kind of that getting where we fit in, like finding ways where we can support each other without having a self-destructive aspect of it, where we're having to give so much that we don't have what we need. Because I feel like there's plenty when we share resources, when we share ideas, when we can collaborate, when we can, as best as possible, try to move through conflicts. Like, to me, that's the goals of community. And the dance floor is sort of like an experimental space to work with that, because the stakes are low. It's sort of an experience that it's optional, right? It's not like
you don't have to commit. If you feel like you got what you needed, you can leave.
yes,
you don't have to.
Come and go.
There's no barrier to entry.
There's a low barrier to entry, and there's a low barrier to exit. It's like if you need, people can just do what they need to do. And I saw even a couple of times someone wearing like headphones for the to help with the volume. And I'm so excited for all of those sort of adaptations that we can make so that we can be good with each other. So I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, if someone is like sensitive to loud noise and crowds, like, but they still want to be a part of something, like make any adaptation that can allow you to do that is so exciting. Yeah. And I feel like if we keep innovating in these ways, not necessarily technology, but just social adaptations where we're making more space for neurodivergence, we're making more and more space for queerness to just be the norm. Like, it's very exciting, and especially in a small enough town like Savannah, in the Bible Belt, like you're saying, that we have spaces where it's like you can really let your freak flag fly, And cut up is just something that I had a vision for, because partially from living in these other cities where there was already space that had been elbowed out by, our ancestors and people that have come before us. Where spaces in New York where it has just been the norm for longer. And even still, it's amazing. Like, I've performed at, for example, Pride Fest here. And my experience of Savannah is very queer friendly, forward. I love being immersed in this community and culture. And then even in this big year of 2024, now 2025, seeing certain comments and things where I'm like, wow, no, we really are still like making room for this. And I can sometimes be in this bubble here of just like beautiful people that kind of get it. They're already on the wave. We're already on the wave together with like forward thinking. And then you step out of that bubble, step off of that wave, and it's like, we still have a long way to go. So I feel like if we can grant visibility to spaces that are pushing that edge of like, okay, what can the norm be in Savannah? Like, can we push that edge a little further out so that people that are either not comfortable in themselves or not comfortable being themselves with others? Because I think that's sort of the challenge of this generation is like the internet has all this space. You can find your little lane in the internet and be as loud online, but then you still have to go to the coffee shop, you still have to go to the grocery store, and it's like, how much space can we take up and make room for people to be their whole selves as often as they want, like full time? Because even with Palm Wine, it was funny, a couple of the guys had come out and they were in just the fits, the most beautiful, half-naked, wild shit you could see. And then I ran into them at the sort of the after party, like the next bar, and they had changed clothes. And I was like,
Yeah.
it is that the space has to continue to be made, because it's not like they would have specifically been unsafe to like, I don't think Lone Wolf or somewhere is the type of spot that would be like creating an assault type of situation. At the same time, the comfort level had changed. So not to name names specifically about different spots in town, but I feel very grateful to be connected to places that have been pushing the edge forward of like inclusivity and everybody being welcome.
The Lone Wolf does have that queer friendly space.
Yes, I feel like the
Yeah.
same thing. It was Lone Wolf definitely is one of those like community spots that I feel very comfortable in, like that a lot of people are welcome, and even still I feel like the environment of these parties has been very special to see.
Okay. Yes, I'm Jomar Santos. Born and raised in Puerto Rico. Now I'm becoming a local Savanian for the past 6 years or 7. Feel very happy to be here in this beautiful bustling city of Savannah. And yeah, I met Maggie through the hospitality industry, but also we met before through also different interactions with the art scene here local in Savannah. And what I love to share stories and through liquid imbibing interactions. So, aka bartender and mixology. I like to share the awesome taste of the Caribbean through a glass, or a vessel, and have a good time with my guests and my people.
I feel like our vision for our shared future involves a lot with like creating experiences and events, both for ourselves, like through travel, but also incorporating our gifts with that travel. So maybe taking event concepts that we're doing in Savannah and sharing them like with other cities. And also for me, that's exciting because you get to meet other artists in different places. And like you were saying with Atlanta or these different cities, you create dual platforms. So they're then welcome to the experience of sharing their gifts where you live or where you're from. So I feel like creating more threads of connection with different creative people in the world is part of my sort of goals and how I see myself moving forward.
My name is Daniel White. I'm an artist and photographer in Savannah.
And how do you know Miss Paradise?
Oh man, Miss Paradise. It's funny. Actually, when I first moved here, now almost 3 years ago, I met my friend Chelsea, who's a tattoo artist here, and I asked where are the good dance clubs, DJs around here, because I love house music and music in general, and I love dancing. And she's like, you've got to meet Maggie. So I was like, whoever this Maggie person is, you know, I finally found her. I believe at the Alita, and you know, kind of kicked it off just naturally, honestly. But then I kept finding her in different spaces around Savannah, and then we eventually linked up and started working together actually. So I met her through a mutual ultimately, but then we organically became good friends.
How did you know that was the path that you wanted to take? Like, how did you know this is what I want to do? Because when you do it, you don't necessarily just go in and take pictures. You create. It's like y'all work in tandem with each other to create an entire vibe.
Yeah, me and Maggie definitely feel each other's energy. You know, Maggie's loose with it. She likes to have a good time, and she's not really strict on what she wants me to capture. She wants me to capture just the vibe and that natural atmosphere of wherever we are. So I do it honestly because of her. You know, Maggie just creates a great atmosphere, and you know, I like freeform shooting. I love catching people in their natural habitats and natural, I guess, cadence of dance and having a good time in a public setting. And that spots is a place that I think creates atmosphere that's perfectly fit for that. And then her parties obviously are, you know, one of a kind. You know, Palm Wine is a once a month thing at that spot. So being a part of that is just an amazing thing. So I mean, it was a no-brainer for me to start, you know, working with Maggie and shooting and being involved in that whole, you know, idea that is mostly hers. So I do it because of Maggie. You know, she makes it very effortless, makes it very easy, and makes it very fun.
Cool. And if you could tell yourself one thing, your past self, that you now want past self Daniel to know, what would you tell him?
To not be afraid to make big steps into the unknown, because it's kind of what this whole trip, you know, this whole movement here even was. But also just to be loose, have fun, and surround yourself by people who are like-minded and just have as much drive and ambition as you do, and just flow through the doubt, flow through the self-doubt and the self, you know. Not be afraid to just dive into the unknown and dive into what seems scary, you know, because you will ultimately meet people who can push you forward and just get you to that next step of growth in life.
Hang on to the Better days will soon be here. Take it from me, someday we'll all be free. Yeah. Keep on walking tall. Hold your head up high. Lay your dreams right up to the sky. Sing your greatest song, and you'll keep growing, growing on. Take it from me, someday we'll all